Thanks. All right. What's going on here? All right. I'll call this meeting to order. This is the town council meeting on November 21st of 2023. Let's see. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Madam Clerk, we'll do the roll call.
Yes, sir. Councilman Larson.
Here.
Councilman Dickerson.
Here.
Mayor Green.
Here.
Councilman Castillo.
Here.
And Councilman Burchard.
Here.
Mayor Green, you have a quorum of the council with all members present.
And we have, I'm sorry, Carmen, right?
Correct.
Carmen from Sanderson Law Office today, so we'll try to grill you as much as we possibly can, really indoctrinate you into town of Alpine politics, but thank you for being here. First thing up is the consent agenda. Has everyone had a chance to read through everything on the agenda?
Yes.
Aye. I mean, yes.
Yes.
So we've got the minutes and all the bills and the change order 5 for the pathway project, final payment. I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion for approval for consent agenda?
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. At this point, we will start the public hearing. And I will hand things over to our clerk, Monica Chenault.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So everyone, this is a public hearing for the renewal of 10 liquor license applications. The following businesses operating within the incorporated boundaries of the town of Alpine submitted renewal of liquor license applications for the calendar year 2024. Yankee Doodles, you're going to have to help me with that.
Cabaña de Tequila.
Thank you. VR Tavern on the Grays, Parkland USA Corporation, which is KJ's. We have Rocky Mountain Rogues, which is Bull Moose. We have Driftwood Pizza. We have Get Down LLC, which is Melvin Brewings. They are renewing both a restaurant liquor license and a microbrewery license. We have Brolum's for the Alpine Brolum's and also Brolum's for the Ace Alpine Hardware, which is a malt beverage permit. And just since we've invited any of the renewal applicants that could make it to come this evening, it would be wonderful if you could go to the podium and just introduce yourself and just tell us who you're with, because there's some of us in the room who are new here, and so we haven't met you yet, and we just want to get to know people and figure out who we're helping. So
Yeah, maybe just a little background
Yeah,
on how
that'd
long
be
you've
great.
had the license and everything, so that'd be great, but. Yep. No, you have to say it
we
from the
can't
podium.
hear.
Hey, Brenda.
It has to be recorded, and that's the only way to do it. I'm so sorry. It's not to make you uncomfortable. It's just because that's the only way for it to be recorded.
Be recorded and be able to folks at home hear.
Yeah, because we have tens of people at home. No, we don't. We only
One.
We have one?
One
we have
right now.
one person.
Do it for the one at home, Brenda.
Brenda, just come on up real quick.
You came in late anyway. Here I am.
Oh, can you turn on the microphone on top? It's a big button on the front.
There you go.
Thanks,
You
Brenda.
guys are gonna never ask me to do this again. I'm gonna guarantee that. Okay, I'm Brenda. I'm with the VR Tavern on the Grays. It used to be the Grays River Saloon. The new people have had the license for 2 years. And we're a restaurant, a bar. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
See how easy that is?
That was-
Thanks, Brenda.
You did such an amazing. My good friend Shannon.
Hi, I'm Shannon. I work over at Melvin Brewing. Have been there since it started, and I think we've had the liquor license 5 years, and the microbrewery license probably about 8 years now, something like that. But hi, everybody. I'm Melvin Brewing.
Thank you.
And you're currently closed, but you're opening up again.
be back up next Wednesday, and then after that, we're gonna go to 7 days a week.
Awesome. Thank you. Anybody else? I think you, Mr. Ace, wanted to come.
Come on, Scott.
Hi, everyone. I'm Scott Lund, and I'm from the Ace Hardware. I guess I'll probably be representing the Brolem store as well. This is our second year with a liquor license or a malt beverage license, as it were. Anyway,
And how's that going over there? Like you're not competing with Brolem's necessarily, but
no, our price point's the same. So,
oh, yeah.
yeah, it's just kind of a convenience thing for our contractors.
People are filling up with gas or they're getting their other stuff.
Yep.
All right, thanks, Scott.
Scott, if it ever goes up the chain, tell Brolem's Grocery Store we still greatly appreciate them being open on Sunday.
Yes.
And, like that
Yes,
up there.
thank you so
Thank
much. Anyone else? Okay.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So the Town of Alpine published notice on the consecutive advertising dates of November 8th and the 15th of 2023. If approved, all liquor license renewals will expire on December 31st, 2024. The Wyoming Liquor Division has reviewed and found the following applications complete. Yankee Doodles, VR Tavern on the Gray, Parkland USA, which is KJ's, Bull Moose, and both of the Brolem's applications. We have the tequila place.
Yes,
So
it's okay.
Tequila del Cabana.
that I don't know. I cannot manage to
Okay,
get that whole
Monica.
thing out.
We know what you're talking about.
And so that they had initially identified some issues with their information. Christine was able to secure all the information and it's been resubmitted and we're just waiting for final approval. So she is recommending that we approve it contingent upon them deeming it complete. Driftwood is the same circumstance. They had some missing information. That all that information has been turned over to the liquor people so that they can just do the final review and give us approval. And so with Melvin's microbrewery license, same story. There was some missing information. It's been submitted and we're waiting for a final word from them. With the restaurant liquor license for Melvin, there was some missing information earlier today. We did not have it. However, Christine was able to secure it outside of getting it from Melvin's, and they were in communication. They weren't able to produce it. She was able to get it through a different channel. They are aware of that, and she is working on getting that. That should be cleared up as well. She's also recommending that we approve it upon the liquor division deeming it complete.
Okay.
And so, is there any public comments or questions? Hearing none, Mr. Mayor.
At this time, we will close the public hearing. So, thank you. That was quick and easy, painless.
For everybody but Brenda.
First one's always the toughest, Brenda. Just so everyone knows, we are, later on in the meeting, we will be approving all the applications for the liquor license, voting on that. So if anyone wants to stay till then, it's not far down the list here, so. We'll go right into reports. I'm first. It seems like we have a million different things going on, and my head is spinning right now, but anything in particular that I should mention, Monica? Oh, the lights were just put up
Yes.
all over town, and they look
They look
amazing. Hopefully,
amazing.
everyone agrees.
Yes.
But the troops were working on that kind of late last week, and yeah, I don't know how long they're going to stay up, but we have Santa coming in a couple weeks, so we're all
Yes.
very excited.
Santa's coming.
None of us did the elf quote.
So we booked him early this year. He's going to come a little bit early, but
The girls actually put the tree up today.
Oh my goodness.
yeah. So I don't really have much. Dom, do you have a report you want to give since you showed up? Yeah, absolutely, please. I'm sorry, you have to. Dominique's going to give us the engineering report real quick.
Hi, I'm Dominique with Jorgensen. The engineer's report was pretty straightforward. There were just a few things that I wanted to follow up about. One is the Snake River Junction generator. I understand that Jorgensen gave you everything that you needed, but I wanted to follow up and just say that the recommendation from Kevin was that you have Covelop bid it as opposed to the town. Just that way they can do a direct bidding process as opposed to going out for multiple bidders, but then Jorgensen would review for the specs. We also have the sewer rate study proposal. We're just looking into a few things. It does come out to about $30,000, just as a teaser there. We think that impact fee study is part of the scope, but we're asking for clarification on that.
That's
So,
great. Thank you.
hopefully that is already part of the scope. We're just gonna clear that up. And we'll have that proposal ready for you by the next council meeting. I think that is actually it.
So can I go back to, that I have everything for the RV?
Snake River Junction.
I don't know that I do.
Okay,
And maybe I missed it, so I'll reach out
okay.
to Kevin, I think. So I know there was a little bit of back and forth, there was some confusion, and then I haven't heard
Okay.
anything, so I don't know. So,
I'll
but I didn't
follow up
see
too.
a spec.
No, well, we would, yeah, that's actually a good point. We would review the bid against the specs, but if there's not a pre-existing spec that you're gonna compare
Then,
it
yeah,
to,
then no, they may struggle to put it out for bid.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
so, okay.
And one other thing I forgot to say was that for the pretreatment plant, the process piping, the Cambrian is about 5 weeks late, but we have that contingency in there that, they will essentially pay $500 for every day that they're late. It's been 5 weeks, so you're getting a discount at this point, but it's about 5 weeks late, so,
Okay.
yeah, it's,
How's everything else going down there? Could you give us a quick update?
yeah, I'm gonna have to use my cheat sheet from Kevin, but, it sounds like everything is, coming along pretty well. There's, let's see, the membrane container was scheduled to be delivered last Friday. I believe that has also slipped, so that's something of concern as well. It looks like the metal roof is on, 2 of the 3 garage doors are on site, the siding is almost complete, concrete aprons and pads need to be poured, but essentially, it's getting there and is gonna be pretty much roughed in for winter work.
Yeah, I know there was potential water damage. Do we have, from the hatch not being installed, do we have any update on that?
No, I'm
From the contractor?
sorry.
Okay.
Kevin didn't give me any information about that, but I'll follow up with him
Yeah.
on it. Okay.
Yeah, anyways, we can just follow up with him.
Well, I'll circle back and
Okay.
let you know.
Yeah, because I knew he was gonna look into it, but,
Okay.
yeah. Anybody have any questions for Dominique?
Just one. So regarding water capacity, could you just read that disclaimer that we're seeing on all of the planning and zoning submissions, the engineering report?
Sure, so specifically, like the last one that we put out was with Alpine Flats, and we review the infrastructure that comes with any of these developments, but whenever the question of capacity comes up, we can't verify whether or not the town will have capacity to serve a development's needs because we don't have the water model. There is a bit of a caveat, though, too, that with the WWDC grant that you have for the Level 1 Water Master Plan, you will be getting a water model that will be yours, but you won't have it for 2 years.
Right.
So until we get the model from the previous engineer that you've paid for, and you don't want to pay Jorgensen to recreate the wheel while you have another one being developed, we're in a little bit of between a rock and a hard place.
Right.
Because we don't have a way to verify capacity for any new development.
Okay.
So you just see that over and over again with all of our infrastructure reviews or reviewing any potential new permits or annexations, is that we can't verify the system's capacity in relation to what their proposal is.
Right. I was finding myself becoming desensitized to it just
'Cause
because
you
I was
see it
reading it
every
so many
time. Yeah.
times. So I would
Yeah.
be interested in talking more with Jorgensen about what actions and protections can we put into place?
Yeah.
Because I certainly don't want the town to make promises that we cannot then keep.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
Okay.
Dominique.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any
Thanks,
other
Dominique.
questions?
Oh, thank you.
Good job, thanks for coming.
Okay.
Councilman Larson, we'll let you just start on economic development and go right on through to Alpine
Oh, boy. Okay.
travel and tourism.
Well,
Did we-
economic,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Mo.
got
we
Melissa.
forgot
Oh, come on. That's my fault.
I didn't forget you. Go on up.
You just hold on, Jeremy.
Gladly.
Melissa Wilson with the Planning and Zoning. One thing I want to bring to y'all's attention is that we are going to lose a member the first of the year. So we are looking for another member, of course, for the Planning and Zoning. So something to keep in mind.
Anyone who's interested should reach out to me. Email me directly at mayor@alpinewy.gov.
Yep. So that was one of the big things I was hoping you'd mention in your reports, because
Thank you for
it's kind of a big deal if we.
I didn't know
lose
if it
one.
was public knowledge yet.
I don't
so-
know. He told me on,
It was public knowledge at last
meeting.
No, okay,
Yeah, he said on the record last week.
got it.
Yeah, and we've been going through the tabled items, and there's a whole bunch of pushback a little bit on some of the developments that are going on as far as just big concerns was snow removal. Make sure everybody has enough room, and everybody's meeting the criterias, the new criterias that we have for the LUDC. So I don't know if you guys have any questions or anything.
The only thing I was gonna ask is, are you planning on sticking around to answer any questions while we go through the land use development code
Oh
tonight?
boy,
the third
I'll
reading?
do what I can.
Okay.
I don't know
know
if I
Christine-
don't know if I have those notes.
Yeah, Christine couldn't be here, but if we have any questions, just,
I'll
you're
do my
planning on
best.
staying anyways, weren't you?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll do my best to answer them. I've got
Okay.
some of my notes here for what we were going through. Absolutely.
sounds good.
We're good.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
thank you. All right, Councilman Larson.
Okay. Economic development report, nothing new there, so nothing to report. Utility easement up on the hill. For those who live up on the hill, like Scott, myself, I'm not sure other familiar faces, it's I'll try and put it nicely. It's a little mess because it's mud season, it's heavy equipment on a dirt road. They're ripping stuff up, they put stuff down, coming back to its mud season. Things are hopefully starting to freeze out, but it's a mess. However, on the Terrace side, to Pinecrest side, all the way up to where Terrace meets Sunset, they've, Lower Valley LVE has put in their power lines. Well, I should say the conduit. They haven't dropped the power lines yet, I don't believe. I'm not sure exactly when. Last time I heard it was going to be spring, but that may happen sooner than later. I have not heard an update, but that's going in, and where they can, they've also put in lines LVE's put in the fiber lines as well where they can, where they had permission. So they've done that. That's going on right now. And I'm meeting with them next week for an update and for planning 2024 for the rest of fiber and burying the power lines up on the hill. Any questions there, Scott? It's a mess. Let's see, next, the Alpine Sports Park funding update. For those who don't know, we've had an application with the Wyoming Outdoor, the WARG program, Wyoming Outdoor Recreation Grant. And what we did is last year we applied for a $650,000 grant. You had to have 20% of in-kind or kind matching. So that's what we were able to apply for, is $650,000. I found out 2 weeks ago we were not successful. I kind of want to put this into the record. So back on September 25th, they reached out to all applicants and saying, "Dear applicant, we sincerely apologize for the delay in the WARG announcements. We understand that this has caused an inconvenience for your projects and your organizations." We were supposed to hear back end of February, March on this. Also, these funds have a deadline that they need to be spent by June 2025. So to miss a whole building season for the applicants was a big deal. State and local fiscal recovery funds, SLFRF, allocated in the American Rescue Plan are subject to the strict guidance outlined in the final rule, which provides a comprehensive list of eligible expenditures, encouraged expenditures, and prohibited expenditures. Multiple changes in the final rule, including 3 major changes since applications were first received, have made the process significantly slower than expected. And we are working diligently with our partners at the State Budget Office and the state's consultants to ensure that any project receiving an award will meet the eligibility requirements set forth by the federal program. We are still receiving guidance from the U.S. Treasury and are hopeful that we will be able to qualify projects more easily in the second round of WARG funding. So I found out from this, oh great, there's going to be a second round. However, I've reached out several times. I don't know where our project stands, or stood, I should say. I don't know if it was an encouraged expenditure, a prohibited expenditure, or a eligible expenditure. And then once I found that we did not receive it, I still reached out again, because thinking, okay, round 2, because we still have that match money. Essentially, the town and Alpine Trails and Pathways have combined forces. So the town has $10,000 earmarked for that matching. It's kind of a double earmarked. It's earmarked for the matching. It's also earmarked for a fence/wall along the border there between the HOA. And then Alpine ATAP, Alpine Trails and Pathways, has $22,000 set aside for matching, 5 of which goes to the wall/fence. Another 5 goes specifically to the pump track, and then the rest mostly to the jump track. Anyway, we didn't get it. There is a round 2. Until I can get a hold of them, sorry, I'm not wasting my time, or the town's time, or ATAP's time, if they're not going to get back to me, because we already postponed this a year. Even if we hadn't had this grant, we would have done construction last summer. But so the people who did get it were there. Apparently, I found out there were 117 applications. Of the 117 applications, there were 4 awards. Wyoming's Office of Outdoor Recreation is pleased to announce the first recipient of the Wyoming Outdoor Recreation Grant Program, resulting in over $2.1 million in allocated funding. 4 Wyoming Outdoor Recreation Grant applications were approved, including $1 million for Albany County's Pilot Hill Trailhead, $700,000 for the city of Laramie's Laramie Bike Park, $330,513 for the town of Shoshone's Shoshone Heritage Rail Trailhead, and $72,010 for the Wind River Reservation St. Lawrence Trail Rehabilitation. So, I mean, they did go to good projects. Bummer it was only 4 out of the 117. I felt we had a great application. I'm pretty bummed. But whether or not we go forward, again, the town, we've already earmarked money to do some improvements on that. As I always say, if you'd like to see more, the town can be a nonprofit or a tax write-off for you, depending on what your accountant says. Alpine Trails and Pathways is a 501c3. You know, we can be a tax write-off if that needs be. If you want to see progress or play in your community, we're more than happy to take a donation. So that's my soapbox on the sports park. Any questions there? All right. Alpine Travel and Tourism Board. Just like P&Z, we will have an open board seat. So far, I've talked to a couple people, but so far I've not received any letter interests for the board seat. It'll start January 1. It's a one-year term. If you have interest to be on the Travel and Tourism Board, please submit your letter of interest to Melody. She will then in turn give it to the mayor and set something up for you for that candidate. Other than
What
that,
should people include in their letter of interest? Because I had been under the impression it was an application. Is it just?
no, just letter of
submit?
interest. No, the application's for grants.
Okay.
Yeah, no, letter of interest.
And do you technically have to be like a business owner in the town of Alpine or?
So you either have to be a resident and or own a business in the town of Alpine.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep. The on applications, application for 2020, the 2025 funding, because our fiscal year is the same as the town, so our fiscal year starts July 1 and goes to June 30th. So for that fiscal year, we'll be taking applications December 1. You'll be able to find it. It's not there yet, but you'll be able to find it on our website. If it's not, the website's not up and ready yet, we'll at least have a hard copy with Melody at the town, and then we start reviewing those applications January through mid-February.
I'm sure she could email them to them too if they
Yep.
reach out to us as well.
Other than that, that's it for travel and tourism. Any questions there?
Thanks, Councilman Larson.
That's it.
Next on the list is the Lincoln County Sheriff's Report. They submitted that, and it's part of the packet. So we will move right on to our action items. First of which is the liquor license renewals.
So would you like some assistance?
Please.
Okay. So we are seeking approval for the renewal of the 2024 liquor licenses for Yankee Doodle, Tavern on the Grays, KJ's Alpine, Bull Moose Saloon, Brolum's, Alpine Ace Hardware first.
So should we tackle these one at a time, or what have you guys done in the past?
I mean, if everything's all together, we can just group it all at once, and bam, where we've got 4 outstandings, we can group them in 2 groups if that works for you. Either way,
Yeah,
so those are already
let's
ready to
start
go.
2
We can
lists
group
real
it that way, and
So
then
one, on this list, on your agenda, 1 through 6 are complete, and 7 through 10 need a different motion. If you're gonna do it as 2 motions.
Yeah. If, I would entertain a motion to approve numbers 1 through 6 on our list.
Okay. Make a motion for approval of the renewal of 2024 liquor licenses with all licenses to expire on December 31st, 2024 for Yankee Doodles LLC, restaurant liquor license, Tavern on the Grays LLC, retail liquor license, KJ's Alpine County Malt Beverage liquor license, Bull Moose Saloon, retail liquor license, Brolum Supermarket LLC, retail liquor license, and Alpine Ace Hardware County Malt Beverage permit.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Any discussion? Yeah, it seems like everything's in place, so this, if there's no discussion, we'll call the vote. All those in favor of the, let's see, 2024 liquor license that will expire on December 31st of 2024, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries. Congratulations. And then, let's see, do we need to
Put in a
approve
pending.
these with disclaimer? Okay.
Pending, yep.
Pending, go ahead.
Make a motion for approval renewal of 2024 liquor licenses with all licenses to expire on December 31st, 2024, pending completed paperwork by State of Wyoming and approval. Liquor licenses will be Melvin Brewing Microbrewery License, La Cabana del Tequila LLC Restaurant Liquor License, Driftwood Pizza LLC Restaurant Liquor License, and Melvin Brewing Restaurant Liquor License.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Any discussion? Those in favor of approval of the 2024 liquor licenses to expire on December 31st, 2024, pending documentation that we need to receive, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. We'll just get our paperwork in and you guys should be good to go, so. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for coming, Brenda. Thanks for coming. Shannon, Scott, anybody else? Thank you.
And she should come all meet to every meeting. She should come to every meeting.
All right, next item on our list is the Alpine Flats Infrastructure Engineer Review.
So you guys were provided with a lot of documentation from that. And we have Brian here from the Alpine Flats project. And so, as you guys may recall, they installed the sanitary
Sewer line.
they've also installed some water main and other infrastructure. And so, per the development agreement, those items were to be inspected, approved, and turned over to the town of Alpine. And we must accept them, and then they will give us easements for the infrastructure that will become ours. So because of the change in engineering, there's a bit of a ball drop from the previous engineer. And so there was never some finalization. So the motion that I'm seeking from you guys, the decision I'm seeking from you today will be for the acceptance of all the infrastructure. And with the caveat, though, that there is a piece that needs to be done. Jorgensen has reviewed it all, everything's good. However, and we're really not sure if there wasn't clarity at installation or if it was completed and there just was no reporting through the inspection, but there is some restraints that are necessary on the 8-inch water main. Water mains, as you may or may not know, they move because they're full of water and they're pressurized and they can vibrate. And so when you have stubs that are not restrained, you can have water main breaks. And so that piece either needs to be confirmed by their excavator, or if they're not in place, then they have a different excavator. Then they need to actually excavate it and do it. However, they've been unable to, and Brian may be able to speak better to this, but they were unable to get their excavator in, and here it is, end of November. And so they're asking to be allowed to either confirm or install the restraints with a deadline of May 30th. But in order for us to do that, though, we still need to accept the infrastructure. It needs to become ours, and their attorney needs to provide us with easements and file them within 30 days of the motion. is what I'm asking for.
So we just need to make it contingent upon, I mean, everything's gonna move forward, but they
Yeah.
just need to make sure that they do this last piece.
Contingent upon, yeah, so. we could-
And Brian, I'm so sorry, but can you go to, because
Thanks, Brian.
people at home can't hear you.
We want them all to hear you. We have,
I got a pretty loud voice. They probably heard me. Okay, yeah, it would be contingent upon us. Like, we couldn't get our excavator in there, but we will be able to go in, do the excavation, either confirm that stuff was installed, or we will install it at the time that we open it up. Right? So the manholes are in, fires, hydrants, all that stuff's ready. We just need to confirm the restraints. So if they're not there, we'll install them, right, when we open it up.
okay,
Okay?
awesome.
So, by the way, I'm Brian, Sundance Properties. We're doing the Alpine Flats project.
Thanks, Brian.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yes. Okay, with that being said, do we have a motion?
So, motion for approval of acceptance of the installation of approximately 2,148 linear feet of 8-inch PVC water main, 4 hydrant assemblies, 1,471 linear feet of 8-inch PVC sewer main, 5 manholes, service laterals within the utility easement, and an additional system improvements per the June 13th, 2022 DEQ notice of compliance. Contingent upon excavation and confirmation of restraints are in place, and if they are not, they will be put in place. Is that correct?
By May 30th.
No later
By May
than-
3rd, yeah, by May 30th, 2024.
Perfect.
Well done.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Any discussion? Go ahead, Brian, one more.
One thing.
Yep.
Yeah, just so that we're clear. The water lines are in, the manholes are in, the fire hydrants are in, all of that already exists. It's already there. We just need to confirm the restraints that are on the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
And really, when this motion happens and gets approved, they have the 30 days to get us those easements. So it's real important. We've been waiting for a while for those, so,
Yeah, the water system's live.
yeah. Any questions, concerns? With no further discussion, all those in favor of said motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Madam Clerk, we're discussing the Dead Horse annexation petition.
Yes, on the 18th of October, a petition for annexation was submitted to me via email. And so the resolution that you have before you is simply to define the fact that I have reviewed their annexation petition and application, and I have deemed it to be complete. Normally, this resolution would also include a setting of a hearing date. However, with the holidays, I could not anticipate the hearing date. I do believe, though, now, because we don't have anything back from the engineer, always look for that calendar. It's not there. But I think it's going to be at our January meeting. But I'll let you know once I confirm that.
The resolution is on 62, I think, of the packet. Did you find it? It's on 62.
Oh, I thought I printed that one out. Okay, thank you.
Everything's in place, though, Monica?
Yeah, it's just accepting their application.
Can someone say where that is?
What?
The dead horse annexation? Where is that?
Oh, yeah.
It's near Targhee.
Yeah, it's near Target
Landing.
Place. It's literally across the street from Alpine Flats. It's on the other side of the highway. Kind of by where the storage
Yes,
garages are, the
near
white
there.
storage garages.
Yeah.
There's kind of this
You-
L-shaped
Yeah.
piece,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a
I should have had a
weird
map
piece.
up of it, but I don't think we have a
I
map
don't.
on here,
There
do we?
isn't.
There's not.
At least I didn't see one.
It's vacant.
And just for clarification, this is just a resolution saying that the application has been submitted completely.
That's all it
This is
does.
not a reading,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
we will be.
So, and the annexation process, it's very clearly defined by the state of Wyoming and by state statute. The clerk, which is myself, has 10 days from the date of a submittal of an annexation petition to deem it complete. That's all this resolution is asking me communicating to town council that it's done and they understand it's complete. There's specific timelines that have to be met, and there's very specific publication criteria that has to be met. And so this is just part of the process. I could do it without a resolution, but I'd rather give more information than not enough.
Absolutely.
It's better.
It's probably over communicating.
No, it's
Nope.
it's good to
With everybody.
formalize it basically. So,
yeah.
do I-
So the process will literally require a well announced public hearing in which everybody can come and look at the mapping and ask all the questions that you have about the actual specifics of the annexation. And I do anticipate that will be in our January meeting at this point.
All right. Do we have a motion?
Motion for approval of resolution number 2023-525, Dead Horse Meadows annexation to the town of Alpine.
Second.
We have a motion. It's been seconded. Any discussion?
Way to have a paper trail.
I know. Yeah, we've got it covered.
Yep.
It's
Ma-
a paper trail.
Ms. Chenault is on top of
I
it.
am.
So thank you so much. Any discussion? All those in favor of resolution 2023-524, say aye.
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 I don't mean to correct you, but it's 525.
It says 524 on mine.
Mine says
Oh,
Mine
it
says
does say-
525.
On our agenda, it says 525. On the resolution,
Oh,
it's 524.
is it? Let me look. I have the resolution.
Ooh.
Oh, it's a typo.
So we're fine on the resolution.
You are. It's 524.
Okay, I'll need to
Just-
make a correction.
I think you need to correct
Did you
your.
say 524?
No,
I said
he needs,
520.
Oh, okay.
he needs to
Yeah.
correct his motion.
So
Okay.
I'd like to amend my motion for correction and reinstate amended motion for approval of resolution number 2023-524, Dead Horse Meadows annexation to the town of Alpine.
second.
We have a motion. It's been seconded. Any discussion regarding the number of the resolution? No. All those in favor of said amendment, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, so now we'll just go back to the original motion one more time. All those, if there's no further discussion? Okay. All those in favor of resolution number 2023-524, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Working our way down to the third and final reading of speed calming devices.
We have ordinance number 2023-07, an ordinance of the town of Alpine, Wyoming, permitting traffic calming devices within the town of Alpine, Wyoming.
Monica, can you tell us real quick what the changes were that we discussed in the last reading and just make sure we captured them here?
So there was a change of the distance from 200 feet to 50 feet.
Oh, in the,
In
so
the-
it now
in the
reads traffic
distance
calming
from the
device
inter-
should not be located within 50 feet of
Correct.
intersections
Um,
or a horizontal curve.
There had also been a requirement to do basically what amounted to a traffic study, where we either hired somebody or we did it, but you'd have to have the ability to determine the speed of the traffic on the road, and you would have to sit there
Yeah.
and clock and count vehicles. And we just felt that that was probably not appropriate at this time, and we removed it. As the town grows, if we think that becomes something that we need to do, then, and we have an ability to do that in a way that won't be cost prohibitive.
Right.
We probably should, but at this time, we removed that. We also edited slightly the requirements for how many neighbors should approve, yeah,
Was it the 51% or?
yeah, it was, yeah, they,
No,
I
that was
forget
something else.
how that worked. Yeah, I think they each shifted it to a majority rather than a requirement of a certain percentage.
Right.
Yeah, so there were some minor changes. But just to make it more consistent with how we actually operate.
Is there any questions regarding that? I think
We've
we've discussed it
done a
at
lot.
length, but it's been a few months, so I just want to make sure we're all good on that. I would entertain a motion.
Motion for approval of third and final reading of ordinance number 2023-07, speed calming devices.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Discussion.
Jim signed off,
He wrote it
He wrote it.
so he signed off.
and edited it, yeah, yeah.
He emailed it. I don't know if that means he signed off on it.
Yeah.
No, I think we should be good as far as that's concerned.
Yeah.
Any questions or concerns? Anyone in the audience have any? Matt, go ahead and go up to the podium if you don't mind. Thanks. And give us your address too.
Sure. P.O. Box. My name is Matt. I live in Alpine Meadows. Thank you for finally getting this to where we're at. 51% of the residents in the geographic region. Tell me what that means.
It's that's removal. So that one actually states that traffic calming device installed by resident petition pursuant to this policy may be removed either by town upon determination that the removal is required for public safety reasons, or by petition of 51% or more of the occupants of residences within the same geographic area as petitioned for the speed.
Would that be like adjacent properties to both, like both sides of the road?
So,
Like would it? So let's just say I have one between myself and my neighbor. Would both of us have to agree? So we technically would have to. Okay.
yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
regarding the 50 feet from the intersection, you're gonna have to make sure, I know, you're right on the corner, aren't you?
Yeah, so that was the other one. The 50 feet thing, I get it, but it's going to probably mean that we're going to have more, because I'm not sure the distance between Old Alpine Road and
It's probably 200 feet or more.
Columbine.
Would you say?
There's not supposed to be any access for those two roads.
well,
We understand.
yeah, that's another one. But the distance between, so I'm not sure that would be a great spot to put one, because then we wouldn't necessarily have to worry about the other roads, about basically redirecting traffic, or traffic redirecting to miss those speed bumps. We could put one between Old Alpine and Columbine, and that would be great. But if we can't do the 50 feet thing, because you have the intersection with Old Alpine, then the intersection with Columbine, I haven't measured it, but I'm going to guess that 50 feet thing, I'm not sure if that's going to work out on that strip right there without being in someone's driveway.
Oh, okay.
So then we'd otherwise have to put that on multiple places to prevent people from just going
Yeah,
around.
And just to let you know, we reduced the requirement from 200 feet to 50.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, 200 feet, you wouldn't have got a speed bump at
wouldn't have
all.
been on that road.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that was our,
Okay.
that was our
That's
compromise.
just my concern is
Yeah.
that we're going to now have to put quite a few more, which is going to increase the price.
And-
Or we could spend like 10 Gs on a gate and just get rid of that whole road.
Well, there actually, one of the paragraphs on this resolution actually specifically states neighborhood-funded installation. So we definitely look forward to working with you on
Yep.
placement and number and all
Okay.
that stuff, and getting the lay of the land. You guys, of course, know it better than anybody, so I think this is great. It'll help, hopefully it'll help quite a bit in the summer.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll tackle all that in the spring, I would guess.
Yeah. Should we start reaching out now with applications or whatever process we need to go through? And should we go to Monica?
Yeah, if you want to
We're gonna have to
send me the upfront.
You're gonna have to develop an
Yeah,
application.
yeah, I don't have that. But if
Yeah.
you send me if you
Yep.
email me, we'll
Okay.
get started on it. And probably working through your process with you will help us develop a process that's effective. Yeah.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks.
Would that be for the entire subdivision or just one spot?
Nope, the entire subdivision, we will discuss if there's other locations. I would think any application from one of your residents would kind of cover the whole, but, I mean, that's up to Monica, whatever you think.
Yeah.
But I would just put in your application that we are requesting speed calming devices.
On behalf of.
Yeah, exactly, on behalf of, Alpine Meadows.
Okay.
And then, Dan, you can have one in front of your house too.
We need a few more than that.
Okay.
Does that include the area behind the town hall?
No, so this is, he's discussing only, that, yes, but we can definitely discuss other areas in town. That's what you would send an application or an email to,
Yeah.
the clerk and say, we have a concern in this neighborhood, so.
The ordinance is townwide.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, okay, because in the summer, it's crazy around here. And we have a daycare center and kids walking to the library, and I several times like clench my teeth.
Yeah, well, I think they'll be,
This can help.
flowing in for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the application, so we look forward to working with everyone in and around town on, you know, where they're necessary. Dominique probably has a couple in mind over in her neighborhood. Anyways, any
some
other
effect.
discussion? Let me make sure I've got the right ordinance. Okay, all those in favor on third reading of ordinance number 2023-07, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Next is our resolution on our town council work sessions for next year.
Yes, we have resolution number 2023-522, which is regular council work sessions scheduled for calendar year 2024. They're all listed, and you will note that there is not one scheduled in January, nor is there one scheduled in July. So they are the first Tuesday of the month, otherwise.
Okay.
Okay.
That was Monica's decision. I wanted one January,
I
but
said no.
July 4th, I wanted one, but, so we decided to skip it, but
Can we package these three together?
which three?
The
Yeah,
522,
so let me read,
521?
let me go ahead and read the other two. So, and then we have next is resolution number 2023-520, which is a resolution for the regular council meeting scheduled for calendar year 2024. Those meetings are scheduled on the third Tuesday of every month. The next one is the actual resolution number 2023-525. And so that is the municipal court schedule for 2024. And I don't know if there's a specific day, to be honest with you. Somebody else gave it to me. I did not look at that. They're Wednesdays. I don't know what
Oh,
Wednesday
what day
of the
of the
month.
week
Like
it is?
what Wednesday, are they on a, like on the third Wednesday? Is that what they are? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're on the third Wednesday.
So
or
what's the
second.
question? I mean, these are the actual dates.
Oh, they are the actual
Okay.
dates, but I didn't know if they coincide with a second Wednesday, a third Wednesday, or
Right.
fourth. I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
If there was a pattern
I
or,
think it's the second Wednesday.
but they're at 10:30 in the morning and they're on a Wednesday.
It's the second Wednesday.
Is it the second Wednesday? Okay. So there you go.
Okay.
So if anyone wants to come to municipal court, you've got the calendar here. I would entertain a motion covering all three of these.
Motion for approval of resolution number 2023-521, resolution number 2023-522, and resolution number 2023-525 for the 2024 calendar year of meetings, from workshops to meetings to court meetings.
Second.
But we have a motion, it's been seconded. Any discussion? Does he have all those numbers correct?
Yes.
Can you just say them one more time, Jeremy, so I can make sure?
Yep, 521, 522, and 525. The real 525.
The real
real
25.
Okay, so you've got 520,
1, 2, and 5.
no, so resolution number 520 is the town council, right?
21.
Now,
21.
on
No,
here, it
we've got
says,
520.
Ah, there's another typo.
Monica,
Monica, why are you tripping me up here?
Jeremy, I think,
You guys are like catching.
I'd like to amend that motion, Mr.
It's a good thing the mayor's checking me.
um,
So what's 521?
so 520
So we
is
got 520, 522.
522.
And 525.
I think you're missing a 521 in your list or something, but,
I must be.
or you
I must
skipped
He's
the
have-
trying to
number.
put it everywhere else.
Maybe I skipped it.
But I think we're fine, but we just need to amend it to 520, 522, and 525.
Yes.
So if I could amend my motion for approval of resolution number 2023-520, 2023-522, and still 520, or 2023-525. The calendar, 24 calendar year.
So we have a motion for amendment, and it's been seconded. Any further discussion? We have those numbers right now, Madam Clerk?
Oh, no, apparently, don't have to be.
I think
It
we're
looks
right.
correct to me, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. I think you are correct.
Double check.
All those in favor of the amendment, say aye.
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 Aye. Any further discussion on the resolutions at all? We're good? Emily, we're good? Okay. Yeah, sure, if you'd like to make a
You have one
comment,
more
Ron?
item on the agenda. You have one more item on the agenda, Mayor.
We haven't voted on the final.
Oh,
Hold on one second, I think
On
Ron
the
wants to
schedule.
make a comment. Yes, sir.
Juan Campos, Alpine Meadows. Good evening. Just for clarification, the Alpine Flats infrastructure, excavation,
Hold on one second, Juan, I'll come back to you on that. We gotta finish this motion that
Oh,
we've got
okay.
on it, okay?
okay.
Just take a seat right there and I'll get back to you in just one second. Okay, so if there's no further discussion, all those in favor of resolution number 2023-520, 2023-522, and 2023-525, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I think we've got it handled now. Thank you. Motion passes. Now,
Mr. Mayor?
Yes,
We also
sir.
need to approve the original motion.
that's what we just did.
Then we need to approve the amended motion.
We approved the amended motion and
We
the
did?
original.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did it twice.
But-
I'm confused.
Oh, boy, we'll get there.
hey, it's the night for it.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Campos, please. Please, let's get it off your chest real quick.
No, real quick.
Uh-huh.
So just to be clear, the installation of water lines and excavation that were talked about for the Alpine Flats project,
Yes.
does that include any excavation along Old Alpine Highway?
No,
Okay,
this is all on their property.
on their property?
No,
Okay,
the original sewer line was
okay.
along the county road.
Right, but I think he's right now, we're only talking about the water line.
Yeah.
We're only going through to do the thrust
Yeah.
blocks to make sure that they're there.
Yeah, only because twice that happened,
Yeah,
it created
A
Yeah.
huge
Oh,
mess.
a
Yeah.
huge mess,
Yes.
and traffic deviated into our neighborhood, and, well, all that.
Yeah.
Brian, just to
project's
clarify,
done.
so you're only excavating,
It's only on our site.
yeah,
Just on the
Okay.
side.
Yeah, the sewer line is what went across, all that's done. We're only gonna be doing what's on our side.
yeah,
Okay.
All right.
thanks.
Great
Thanks.
Yeah,
question.
good,
Thank you.
Yes,
good
thank you.
question.
Clarification.
We weren't gonna let him tear up your road again, Juan. Okay, working down our list. That was a great way to handle him, although could have been smooth.
Well, here's
I
the
tried.
new system.
No.
The new system, I'm doing the minutes on the new system, and it doesn't allow for two motions, so I don't know. So that's going to be fun.
Oh, together?
It won't allow me to do two
Combined
motions
motions?
on an item, but
Oh, good. Well, we thought we could get it.
that's
I
okay.
thought we were being.
So when you amend a motion, I'll call her. Say,
There's
how do-
gotta be a way.
There's got to be a way to add a second motion. So-
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so the next one is the creation of the Public Education Committee. And this is in direct correlation to the fact that the town of Alpine does not have a school of any sort. So we are putting together, we discussed it last, was it the work session? We discussed it. We are suggesting that we put together a committee that will basically look at any and all options as far as getting a school in Alpine, whether it's a public school, private school, or a charter school. And we have 3 people kind of earmarked for the committee, one of which is Ms. Castillo, and we hope to have to meet actually pretty soon so we can, there's a proposal on the table where we would potentially hire a lobbyist that would help us with basically getting in front of the legislature and telling them that we don't have a school and we are the fastest growing town in Alpine and this is what we think. So we're hoping that we can kind of move fast and at least take a couple steps before they go into session. Monica, you wrote this
No,
resolution? Jim wrote this one?
Jim wrote
Okay.
this resolution. I did not have an example of a resolution forming a committee, so I asked him to do that. Moving forward, I will probably be able to edit his version.
Yeah.
So,
Is it,
would you like me to read it?
we could get it into the record, I guess, if you'd like.
Yeah.
Just so everyone's.
So it is the Town of Alpine, Wyoming, Resolution Number 2023-526. It's a resolution by the governing body, Town of Alpine, Wyoming, creating the Alpine, Wyoming Public Education Committee. Whereas the governing body of the Town of Alpine, Wyoming, believes that the proper education and training of children and adults is fundamental to the formation of a healthy and prosperous community and nation. And whereas the current mayor and council of the Town of Alpine, Wyoming, as well as past administrations, have worked to encourage private, state, county educational providers to build and operate youth and adult education programs and facilities, even going as far as to set aside a parcel of real property for the building of such facilities. And whereas it is self-evident that as the fastest growing municipality within the state of Wyoming, the need to provide educational facilities and opportunities to the citizens of the Town of Alpine, Wyoming, increases exponentially with every new citizen and family of citizens who choose to establish their homes in Alpine, Wyoming. And whereas the governing body of the Town of Alpine, Wyoming recognizes the burden imposed on children of grade school, middle school, and high school age to journey at a minimum of 30 miles round trip and up to 70 miles round trip every school day, and recognizes that this travel is not beneficial to the valuable time needed for parent and child relationships. Wherefore, be it resolved by the governing body of the Town of Alpine, Wyoming, that a committee of volunteers be established from among the citizens of the Town of Alpine, Wyoming, chosen by the mayor and council for the purposes of organizing, promoting, lobbying, and creating more sustainable education options, including but not limited to the creation of a separate school district within Lincoln County, Wyoming, if so feasible, within the Town of Alpine, Wyoming, and be it resolved that the said committee shall consist of no less than 3 members, said members being charged with the duty and responsibility to meet no less than on a quarterly basis for the purpose of outlined in this resolution, and that said committee members nominate 1 person from their body to consult with and report to the governing body of the Town of Alpine, Wyoming. And be it resolved that said committee shall henceforth be known as Alpine, Wyoming Public Education Committee.
Well done. This would be a perfect time for a motion on said resolution.
Motion for approval of resolution number 2023-526, and I've confirmed that 526 is also 526 on here,
Me too.
for the creation of a public education committee.
Second.
We have a motion. It's been seconded. Any discussion? Tell us all the plans you have, Ms. Castillo.
Excuse me,
Yes,
is there a place where a school would go in this community?
great question. So, there is already, we have parcels just down at the bottom of this hill that, what is it, a total of around 9 acres, I believe?
Yeah, depending on if you include part of that, so it's on both sides of Buffalo Drive. So if you include the ball field, which they do, that way you can add in more.
Yeah.
I think it maybe even comes up to 13.
Right.
Including
So we
parks.
have the parcel set aside, that's part of this resolution, basically saying, we've got it ready to go. We just need to figure out which school goes. I will also say, and I don't want to get our hopes up too much, but from what I understand, there is a charter currently in the state of Wyoming that is not being used. And it could be a great opportunity for us to swoop in and get it. So, but we are looking for the committee to advise us on the best course of action. So, yeah, this is all good. But yes, what do you think?
No, I think it's gonna be a great discussion. I
Yep.
think there's some big challenges. One of the largest is how do we get our population number into something that puts us more on the map? That's just because of our town limits. That's gonna be a little interesting to navigate. I think for me personally, I'm going to be drawing on our committee and the community to really help us guide the next steps as economically as possible. I know that we've got some options on the table, so I'm hoping even if it's not something that we can push through quickly, it's something that at least thanks to the mayor, we do have a committee formed, and that means that we can actually start to make progress. So, sounds like we have some options, some balls in the air. Yes, go ahead.
I'm just curious, would it be just elementary, or are we looking also at high school?
Anything is on
We're
the
looking at
table,
everything,
but
right.
it could be anything from K through 6. It could be a high school. It could be, they may come back after, there's going to be intensive survey done of as many people as we can get information from, figure out what our needs are exactly. I know I have 2 high schoolers, and I would say, I always thought if we had a school, I would love for them to go to that school, but I think one of the drawbacks is having a high school in Alpine is that we will never have the curriculum or the extracurricular things that they have. For example, one of my daughters is in orchestra. We're not going to have orchestra here. The other one's big time into volleyball. I doubt we would have a volleyball team here.
Yeah.
But, so that's kind of what we're going.
Right.
And I would say there's even been interest for like a vocational school as well. So I think a charter school, whatever the curriculum is, we could actually draw from Jackson, Swan Valley. We could be pulling if we had the right curriculum. So I think there's lots of benefits to Alpine having a school, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything is on the table, and we look forward to getting feedback from the public on what they suggest. So.
Yeah.
Do you have all the committee members selected already?
We have 3.
I've got 2 others that are interested.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think
we're good.
I think when it becomes, when we get too big, then it becomes like, can we get everyone
Right.
to come to the
We find
meetings,
everyone's
whatever, but
schedule. Yeah.
I think
This
that,
will be good.
yeah, starting with 3, and then if we can keep adding people that are interested and can commit to attending the meetings, then I think, yeah, the more the better.
Yeah.
So, I don't want 20 people, but, you know, we should
Well-
shoot for 5 if we can get it, but
Yeah.
fall back to 3. That's why we made it 3.
And so far, each committee member has children at different ages, so that's really helpful. Just
Yep.
gives some perspective.
And God willing,
Exciting.
if we could get a school by the time your son is in, he's not quite 1, but hopefully we have something by the
We can
time
work
he.
on that, we have
Yeah.
time, yeah.
Anyways, so I lost track. Have we voted on anything? No. Okay.
We're still discussion.
We're still discussing. Any other questions? No? Okay, all those in favor of resolution number 2023-526, establishing the Alpine Wyoming Public Education Committee, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you.
Jim said this was gonna be a revolutionary, radical resolution. I
Really?
didn't see anything. Yeah, he put a little note on
Oh,
it,
I think he was maybe
just being
facetious.
facetious,
Yeah.
okay.
No, I think
I
it's
thought it
pretty
was pretty
straightforward.
Okay.
Well, maybe just because of the history of Alpine.
Oh, that's
Just so, there are some people probably that don't even realize, but over 20 years ago, the town of Alpine sued Lincoln County School District to try to get a school, and we lost. So, there's
It's been a
There's
long
people
fight.
around here that don't think we have a chance to get anything done, so I think this is a good first step. But anyways, moving down our list, we're kind of done with action items, and now we're gonna we have,
Tabled,
which
do we
one?
take off? Monica, how do we take off?
Yeah,
the
we can
table
jump to
item?
that if you'd like.
Jump to
So,
table items first?
you tabled
Oh, yeah,
the
we should
third
definitely do
reading.
Action item?
I realized when I added the minutes, that you actually tabled the third reading of, ordinance number 2023-03, which is land use development code, so that requires the action of removing it from the table.
All right, do we have a motion to remove it from the table?
Make a motion to remove third reading, final reading ordinance number 2023-03, repeal and replace ordinance number 257 LUDC from the table and put it on the table.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of removing said ordinance from the table, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, we're gonna double check all that.
Okay, so you have now, you're considering ordinance number 303, number 2023-03, an ordinance repealing 257, ordinance number 2018-07, adopting the Land Use and Development Code and adopting the 2023 Alpine, Wyoming Land Use Development Code. And so this has been in multiple packets with multiple revisions, and there was, Christine has spoke in a town council meeting at least 3 times on those revisions, and also at work sessions that she's gone over them with you. They are, if anybody wants to read all of that, it is all attached on the packet online. And there is a spot where you can get the QR code from our website, and actually the packet's there, but it's also under minutes, under the agendas as well. So for anybody who does want to read them, it made our packet well over 200 and some pages. So I wouldn't recommend
Well
printing it. So, unless you want to. So that's where you're at.
Were there any other changes beyond what was suggested?
Not since,
'Cause I couldn't find
there's been
any.
nothing that's
Okay.
been edited since the work session.
Okay.
At which you guys discussed. What?
There was a comma added.
Oh, was there a comment
Oh.
added? Oh, okay, well, thank you.
Well, okay. I'm okay
Thank
with
you.
that.
I would entertain a motion on third reading of this ordinance, and then we can discuss it.
Motion for approval of adoption of third reading ordinance number 2023-03 LUDC to repeal and replace ordinance number 257 LUDC.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah.
I know there's a zillion changes, and has everyone had a chance to go through them and look at? One concern I have is that the planning and zoning took out the architectural review and design committee. So we're still trying to figure out how technically we're going to handle that. But the intention of the design and review committee is to look at commercial buildings in the town, and try to come up with a set of guidelines or standards that they will somehow kind of gel or look so it's cohesive with the surroundings. Maybe avoid having a hotel that's built with blue and green paint on it, some things like that. Not trying to point anything out, but just saying, if there was a committee that, you know, was able to come up with the guidelines, I would like to see that in the land use development code eventually. But do you guys have any thoughts on, you know, should we have a resolution, developing the committee first, then they, you know, put together the guidelines, and then we put it into the land use development code?
What was the hesitation?
Maybe,
Oh,
maybe.
okay.
So, yeah, the concerns were that there wasn't a whole lot of information on what it would establish. So we didn't want to just add it to it without having like, well, is it going to be a 3-person committee? Is it going to be 1 to 3 years? What all that would entail. So instead of just throwing that in the land use development code, we wanted to have something with a little bit more teeth that we would be able to put on the record and actually have it in there. So we wanted to give you all the opportunity to figure out exactly what that architectural review committee would look like, and then we can add it at a later date, next year, you know, or something along those lines. We didn't want the codes that we've got here now, we wanted to get those in the books.
Yes.
But just because we didn't have all the information on the architectural review board, we didn't want to just throw that in and just have it all lumped in without having all the intel. That was the thought process.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, that we could develop the committee
And the
state-
criteria.
And the criteria, and state within there that the proper procedure. It goes to the ARC first.
And then goes to the-
Yeah,
yeah.
so
We
we
could
can
certainly do
develop that.
Yeah, and that's all we really wanted, instead of, because it was just an arbitrary
Yeah.
Yeah.
thing to just throw out, and
Yeah.
and we really wanted to make sure we got the new snow removal, the new parking, we want to make sure that got thrown in the books before next year.
That's very fair.
Agreed. So, but
20% snow storage piece is in here?
And the parking, we increased the
And
parking.
yeah,
Those are
this-
just the top two things I can think of on my
Yeah.
head.
there's literally
There's
100 different changes that, so they have spent a year going through this, and so thank you to all your hard work on that for sure.
It was definitely, Christine did a whole lot of
I
homework.
know she's been working.
She's
on this.
amazing. It would be nice, if she could deserve a raise, that would be great.
We'll let her know you put in a good word. Thank you. Is there any comment from the public or anyone up here with any questions? Councilman Burchard, do you have any questions on?
So I just have a question about.
Dan, come on up and go to the, thank you.
Dan Scow, Alpine Meadows. I have a question about community involvement in that piece, because right now it's just been you and the P and Z,
Right.
correct? It would seem to me a benefit to everybody that there was like a work session, like we did, what I saw you guys do here was like a work session with the community, letting them know all the changes and what we're gonna require.
We do that a lot.
So that's what our last work session was, specifically regarding the land use development code and all those changes. So that was the opportunity for people to give their comments, but I hear what you're saying, if.
The same people who are here.
Right, yeah, and we took all those comments but, I mean, basically, if there's any questions or concerns, like, if someone wants to read through this and give feedback to Christine, that's exactly the person that you should, talk to, or come to the planning and zoning.
Yeah, and to be downright honest with you, before I was on the P and Z this season, there were some folks that were throwing a little bit of a fit on how, before this administration, on how a lot of us live our lives and whatnot, and this is while I was a citizen. And so they were looking to rewrite and make the land use development code a little bit more stringent, without people like myself and like-minded myself, like dirt bike riders, snow machiners, and all that good jazz. So there was a lot of public hearings, so that we do that. As a town, we already do that. We just have to show up. And to be honest with you, you just have to pay attention to the scuttlebutt around town half the time. That's pretty much how it goes.
I was just curious.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
I
that's
get
totally.
what you guys are doing, I'm just trying to, you know.
Yeah, and they totally do that, and anytime you come to the meetings, yeah, absolutely, I mean, you've been to our P and Z meetings, you know where, yeah.
Is there anything in there to help with enforcement, to mandate that we get more help with enforcement?
So we have a little bit of an update on enforcement, so that's directly under code enforcement, and we, this would probably have been a better place for my reports, but we recently interviewed a code enforcement officer and it went great. So we potentially will have a new hire in the near future, and that is specifically their job.
That's our job, yeah.
So this is land use development code, that's part of their purview, so.
It has been a challenge not having law enforcement in town for code enforcements for
Yeah.
these issues. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I guess the only question I have is, in here, are they just going to remove that one letter regarding the, the architecture review committee? It's in green on here.
That's the
Monica?
one I saw the note for.
Do we need to remove that?
Look.
So that's on page 80 of your
80?
80 of your packet. We could just strike section 1-106. But she has a note that says remove this section, so I don't know. Just to clarify, maybe.
Yeah, no, that will be removed.
That's the only thing that I noticed that we should probably update. But
Yeah, because that's her comment, is that she's removing that section.
so do we need to strike it, or she has
No,
removed it?
it's fine. Yeah, after you approve it, she will go through and, so it's in the state of having made changes but not being accepted.
Right.
Do you know
So
what I mean? So-
if we accept it, we accept her to, quote, remove this section?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then she'll finalize it.
Okay, any further comments, questions for Mo? Anybody? Yes.
So, all great, awesome, thank you. And I know it's been a long process, and I definitely, on my side, I want to vote it in, get it done, get it going. The counter to that is, once we get done this, when we start in reading number 1 for the next phase?
Next year.
Because we still have a lot more to cover that this has not covered.
So, and I'm sure, yeah, y'all know, the land use development code's been always a work in progress.
Right.
Every year, we're
It's a
going
living
through it
document.
constantly, and we're constantly updating it, changing it. If next year, when we're ready to roll, if there's some things we need to address, then yeah, let's throw it out there and we'll just start addressing it, and we'll go from there.
If one of the
Hopefully-
questions you were bringing up
We have a
is-
council have already raised issues is from chickens to short-term rentals, to, now
See,
we've
we're
come
handling
up,
those outside of this.
but
for the
it'll
most
be a part of this.
No, it's gonna be its own standalone
Yeah.
ordinance.
It won't be part of the LUDC? Oh, okay. The
That,
only,
that way, we can change it real quick.
Gotcha.
Not have to worry about it. But is there any other things that you were,
the only other thing that, that has been brought to, I think, everybody's attention that sits at a seat here with the latest new development is coming up, well, 2 of them. One, updating the minimum square lot designation for specific areas. And 2, if we want to look at having a minimum square footage per building size compared to lot size. So say, if you got a lot size of 10,000 square feet, you only can put a maximum of 4,000 square foot living space on that 10,000 square foot lot. That, I'm just pulling numbers
Right,
out.
right.
so that
But
goes
that's
back
been-
to like
but that's
impervious
been-
surface and
But that's
how
been
much
brought
percentage.
to,
Yeah.
I think,
Right,
all
yeah.
our attentions.
Yeah, I want to, I'm sorry, I've got the 400-page LUDC book in my bag if you need me to pull it out, but I thought there was something along those lines that was in there, but I cannot recall that.
Yeah.
I mean, because we still have to build according to our LUDC already,
Right.
and so there's already setbacks and whatnot, so
Right.
that's still going to limit what size of a house and thing you can put on your lot.
Yep.
I don't recall if there's like a 10% environmental, like for grass and shrubberies
Right.
and stuff like that.
Right.
I don't recall if there's anything like that in there.
Right.
But,
I think if you have a laundry list,
yeah,
Councilman Larson, you should
Send it to
definitely get
Christine.
with
Yep.
Christine and make sure that we have that covered, and then,
then we can go over it.
yep.
Yeah, absolutely, no problem.
And in reality, they often make recommendations to us. There would be no harm with if you guys as a council wanted to say, draft a request.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that makes it
Right.
more of an official,
Yeah, yeah.
as well. So if you guys have things that you want to talk about, by all means, just, let me know at the next council meeting, and we
Or
can do that.
Come to the P and Z meetings,
Or
we
come
can
to the
discuss
meetings.
it.
Yeah, or we could even have a joint meeting with them. We've
They'd love to
talked
see
about
it
that
at the
again.
next meeting, Jeremy.
Yeah.
I'm there virtually.
We all are.
Yeah.
No, but really, I mean, this is great.
Yep.
I do.
I
Yeah.
think
Watched
last
last
meeting was the last one, or was the first one we had on.
Yeah, we're starting to get them
Yeah,
on the YouTube channel, so that's
on the
awesome.
tube of you.
Yes, that's wonderful. That's been hugely requested.
Yeah,
Well, anything else from you?
not yet.
Oh, okay,
No, sir.
thank you. Any other questions, concerns?
This is a good update.
Yep, I think
I'm sure there's
this
gonna be
is
improvements, but-
expansive, like the changes we're making. So, with that being said, all those in favor on third and final reading of ordinance number 2023-03, repeal and replace ordinance number 257 of the Land Use Development Code, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Yay, knock that one out. Yes.
Good.
You have to go back to discussion items.
Okay. So, discussion items is a new line item that we're adding to the meeting, just to kind of discuss on town council things that have come up, and it's not as formal as an action item or whatever, but we just wanted to talk about it. One, we've already discussed the Architectural Review Committee. I have a few people in mind, but if anyone's interested in sitting on the Architectural Review Committee, basically, you would be charged with coming up with the guidelines and maybe looking at other towns' guidelines and trying to see if we can integrate those into the town of Alpine. And we're looking exclusively at commercial development. We think that residential is probably handled more with the homeowners in the HOAs, so I think it's, we're not gonna necessarily muddy those waters, but, yeah, for the most part, just have an idea of what the, would you like to come up and ask a question, Sue? Sure. Come on.
Sue Colbus, I live in Buffalo Sage Townhomes, right behind Town Hall. Do you see the Architectural Review Committee as part of P and Z, or a separate committee, or working
Separate-
together?
Separate committee.
Though we were discussing that in P and Z.
Yeah, so it's separate committee, and don't know officially if, for example, any commercial plans would go to the Architectural Review Committee first, and then get kicked out before they even get to the P and Z. I think that saves them some, so basically, they're just looking at the colors, the style, the roof lines, the overhangs, things like that. Make sure they gel
The
with
aesthetic component.
Yeah,
correct,
with the guidelines, and then if it gets kicked back, it's not wasting their time at planning and
Okay.
zoning. So I think that's probably how it would work, but we would look for the people on the Architectural Review Committee to help us with those guidelines.
I think that's great. I think the sooner the better.
Yes.
Just my 2 cents.
Is it gonna also include materials?
I think so. I think it should, yeah.
I thought so.
I think.
But, yeah, and if you'd like to apply, Sue, my email is on the website. I'm sure you can find
Yeah,
it.
your card. Thank you.
Yeah,
I can find you.
I know. You only live 50 feet from here. So anyways, that's the Architectural Review Committee. Any comments on that? Any questions or whatever? Okay. The next item is something that has been coming up quite often over the last several years for me, getting into politics. But basically, the shooting range on the far side of town is kind of a point of contention. And what I would like to do is try to facilitate a conversation with all the stakeholders and make sure we are offering the best experience for the people that are using it, discuss, is there a better location, all these different things. And to do that, you know, it actually resides in the Bridger Teton National Forest. So, I'm sorry? Where is it?
It is in BOR.
Okay, so it's in BOR, but it's governed by the Bridger Teton National Forest.
It is not.
Really?
Would you like a history?
No, but.
I've been
There is
dealing
some
with it for several
jurisdiction
years.
complexity
Okay,
with it.
so this is part of the reason, but technically, there is a sliver over there that is owned by the Bridger Teton National Forest. So if you actually go, and I've looked into this because of the River Walk and all that stuff, because it would technically go over in that area. But there is a sliver that's owned, or BLM or somebody manages it.
So as it is right now, it's BOR, and if you go onto the county's GIS system, there is a little kind of a box that this corner of the box will go into the road driving down to the shooting range. And I use shooting range in quotes because it's not viewed as a shooting range because it's not illegal. The actual range is in BOR. Now, BOR goes up the Grays, it goes up a little bit of the Snake, but it's mostly the Palisades. And the BOR is contracted from the bridge west with the Palisades Caribou Targhee National Forest. They manage it for the BOR. So if you have any kind of recreation, any kind of events, anything that needs to be recreation. So like for ATAP, when we groom for the cross-country skiing, our permit is through Caribou Targhee Palisades Ranger District. Now, the point of contention is from the bridge east upstream. And the county, the old town, myself, we've all got through to butt heads. According to the forest, specifically the Grays District, Justin, for him, there is no contract set in place. However, if you talk to the county commissioners, there was a contract developed back in like 56 or 61 that, MOU, that they, in their purview, believes that that's what should oversink and rule Justin to take this over. Last I talked to him, and every time I see him, I'm always pushing him on it, and I'm always like, when are you guys going to take this over? When are you going to take this over? And to quote, why would I want to take over a problem child? So to get the people together would be to get, and I know you've been in contact with the BT's director, or BT's head forester. I would say it'd be him setting down, or Ogden, the regional directors, setting it down to finally get a contract going. Because nobody wants to touch this.
Right, so something, and I'll be asking what has changed, but I was able to contact Justin Laycock. He's actually gonna be here next Wednesday. I had to just throw him on the calendar. So it's completely open to everybody who's interested in learning more about this. I contacted him mainly because I'm trying to get up to speed on the history, the layout, the jurisdiction, and he even admits it's very complex. He's gonna bring all his maps, and we're gonna outline, and then start talking through what they have already explored as far as the location, possibly moving the location, but obviously preserving all of the rights and the nice use that we as a public have been able to enjoy, making some improvements in safety. So he's gonna be here next Wednesday at 4:30 PM. He's gonna be here at the town hall, and he's gonna give us as much background as possible. But yes, that is the first time, Jeremy, that I've been able to get a response. And when I asked him if he would be our point of contact from now moving forward, he said yes. So I'll be interested to hear what he says, and I'd love you at that meeting, just because
So
you've been involved in this process.
if 3 of you are going to be at that meeting, I must advertise. So,
Yes, okay.
and I can't do it through a newspaper, but I can do it
By posting it around.
by posting it around town. So I will make sure that gets done
Thank you,
tomorrow.
Jessica. I didn't
Okay,
get that.
no, I just want to make sure you're covered because it will constitute a meeting.
Yes, we'll
So,
see.
I got you.
What he says.
They'll help get the word out.
We'll get some
Yep.
clarity.
Okay, so the shooting range, Jeremy, is it, yeah, maybe, do you want to
easier to
go
go
point out up there?
To
or-
do this.
now get rid of all that other crap. I don't know.
When
why
you
that
go up the
keeps-
Grays River Road, right after you cross the cattle guard,
That's what I'm saying.
it's just right,
just wind
just,
yourself
it's
down.
on your left, just barely down the road.
So if you see the border here, this is Forest Service. This is BOR. The shooting range, the picnic table's right there, the backdrop's right here. So the only part of the forest, according to the county's GIS, is the road to kind of get down and then back there. But the actual shooting range is in this BOR section here.
So I think this is a really good first step to getting the conversation started. So if anyone's interested in attending, it sounds like it's going to be a public meeting. So-
Yes, sir.
So we'll have 3 people there, but more of information gathering than anything. So I think it'll be good.
Is there going to be like an advertised public input process after that, or how would the town?
Don't know where it's going to go from there, but we definitely want to facilitate like a town hall meeting, probably over at the Civic Center. You know, it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the town, but we'll just help facilitate the meetings. So
It's going to be online?
eventually, I would guess we'd be able to have it online. Not the one, I don't know, maybe.
Well,
can't-
if we're doing a public meeting, we might as well
Yeah, we
make
could-
it live.
We might.
Yeah, we can.
Well,
We can do
actually
that.
Put the maps up there and everything.
We can do
so
that.
That would actually be good. And then we can refer people to that. So,
It would be a challenge for some folks to.
oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, no,
Especially at 4:30. So,
Yeah, and to be clear, this is just the
This is
discussion to
information
get the
gathering.
discussion
This is the
started.
first response we've got.
It's really, yeah,
So hopefully,
there's really no intent.
we get some background, which I think would be great for everybody to hear, because it's been a very muddied topic.
25 years it's been like.
Yeah, exactly.
What has been the biggest concerns? Is it the community, the noise, the mothers, the kids?
Ms. Castillo, you could probably speak to this.
Safety, number one, as increase of traffic, as traffic has increased, this used to be a very informal hunting site and range. So it didn't really need to be on the radar. Now, as it's gained in popularity, a lot of people who are not residents, and perhaps are not quite aware of some of the courtesy rules. I'm a hunter, I'm a shooter, we do like to have a site and range that's not far away. But as we get some people that aren't familiar with that courtesy, we've seen, I live on the bench, so I hear daily if somebody has changed direction with their rifle, if they're shooting in a direction that, let's say, people can hike, camp, enjoy other recreational purposes across the way, and I suddenly hear shooting in that direction. That has been noted by many residents. I would say safety first and then noise. So unfortunately, or fortunately, it's come on the radar, and now it's just gonna have to be something we address.
And I think it's a great idea. Where else could you put it?
That's another great question. I've driven down the Grays. The one location that I found, I don't think that it's far enough away to negate some of the noise. And when I talked to the Forest Service, Justin Laycock, our point of contact, he said he has not been able to find in the last couple of years an alternative that would serve as a short and long range.
The county, the forest, and the town have all been looking at it. The closest the 3 of us have come was when the county tried to Trail Creek, try to make a park out of that. The first thing was to see if they could make a shooting range there, to take everything over there. If you look on, I think it's somewhere on the Forest Service, there's X amount of feet that you have to be away from people, and it didn't apply. So, and the county has looked throughout the county, and thus far has not been able to identify a site. If they did, it'd be great, because right now, the grant that we didn't get, they're actually specifically have a grant to build a shooting range in the state of Wyoming. And that'd be a great application. I've sent that on to the county and to the forest of hint, hint, nudge, nudge. We'll see.
And to clarify, one other attendee is that Sheriff Johnson's going to be here. So he's very interested, just because I think everyone's fear, if we take it away, then everyone is just going to go wherever in the forest, and it's not gonna be organized at all. So, you know, it could push people down valley in a situation that's even worse than what we have here. So everyone's concerned, we just wanna make sure we bring all the stakeholders, anyone that, we wanna hear your voice on this, so, that's why this came up, but anyways, we don't really need to spend any more time on that unless someone has any questions or concerns or
Come
anything.
to the meeting, there will be more. This is just, I wanted to get them on the calendar before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Wednesday, next Wednesday,
4:30.
29th at 4:30. You can get here at 4. I'll talk to you. He's not coming until 4:30.
Bring your own cookies and drinks and stuff.
Yes, exactly. Bring your own snacks.
Anyways, moving on, we're real close here. Anything else?
Nope. Public comment.
Did anyone come tonight to make a comment? I saw Paul Perry's here. I don't know, did you come to say something, Paul?
Just making sure you're doing a good job.
Okay. Well, you get back to me on that.
Serious, copious notes.
Okay. Send me your critiques, Paul. Paul's a friend of mine from Jackson, so I'm glad to see him down here.
I do have a question.
Yes.
On behalf of Juan, do we have we moved any further as a council as far as exploring Oakgrass blockade? I didn't know where that topic, where we
so,
left off.
Yeah, I think not much has happened since the last time we've discussed it. This goes back to when the original subdivision was platted in the county. It said that that was emergency access. Is that what you're talking about?
That's what I'm talking, no, that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we just want, I guess, a legal interpretation of the language that's on the certified plat.
Right.
That says that no traffic is to be taken directly from our neighborhood onto Old Alpine Highway. And so that would include Foxtail and Oakwood.
Yeah, and so I think there's a legal interpretation that needs to happen, and so I don't know, that's just something, Monica,
I know
that we need to
I know
add.
there was some conversations, and that Christine did do some research. I don't know where that landed, so
Yeah.
let me look back into it and
Okay.
follow up with you guys.
That would save us a bunch of money on speed bumps.
Okay. Juan reminds me every time I see him in the supermarket, so I promised
Yeah.
I would remind everybody.
Yeah, because what that would do is that would create a no outlet through our neighborhood, but only in and out of Winter Creek.
Yeah, and I think the concern is safety.
Yeah.
So you don't have, there's only one entrance and exit into your subdivision at that point. So
Is
I
that
would say the fire chief probably has some strong feelings about that,
I-
so we'd want to hear from him.
It's two ways. There's an in and an out.
One off the highway. At the light, correct? If you blocked both those off? I mean, it's,
Yeah, I can understand how we need to-
you're saying the one it's the same entrance is the same exit in that scenario, right?
Well, you can argue it that way. It's big enough. It's a boulevard.
Okay, I don't know what the difference is of that, but people that know a lot more will be able, than I do, or could be
I
able
feel
to-
like maybe we need the opinion of the planning and zoning. They're the ones who would have went through this whole process with
Right.
them and have all that detail. I feel like if we just let them do the research, that would fall right into their understanding of what was or wasn't
Okay.
I think
expected
that's a
or
good place
supposed to
to start,
happen.
but I guarantee you.
If it comes back, we'll deal with
It's
it.
going to be the
Yeah.
attorneys looking at it, and it's gonna be
Okay.
how the town of Alpine brought it in from the county, and the language and everything, so,
Mo,
I
I'll
think-
email you the information that I have from the HOA.
Perfect. Yeah.
Paul, still nothing from you? Okay. Anything else for public comment?
We take a 2-minute break?
Yes, so,
Can I make an announcement?
yes, please.
Just a reminder that the community Thanksgiving dinner is Thursday at the Civic Center. The doors open at 2, dinner is served at 3. The football games will be shown on the TVs. Everyone is welcome for any reason you want to come. If you don't want to cook, if you don't want to do dishes, if you
Wanna see
don't
your
have
friends.
a family,
Yeah.
if you want to see your friends.
Yeah.
You wanna see
Your,
Andrea?
your friends from Top of the Rockies will all be there. And also on Thursday and Friday down in Afton, there's a Festival of Trees and Gingerbread House contest that has been put together. All the proceeds, so there's trees that they're raffling off, gingerbread houses submitted to the contest that will be part of a silent raffle, and all the proceeds go to benefit the 3 food banks in Star Valley. So you can make monetary donations, you can drop off food. It should be a really fun event. They'll be serving lunch on Friday and Saturday with donations from local caterers. And Santa will be there on Saturday.
Yay,
Santa's coming.
Dominique is gonna be there.
Dominique is so excited. Any other comments?
Perfect reminder.
Just a reminder, we've got board seats open for P and Z, Travel and Tourism, and the new Architectural Review Committee.
Yay.
And the educational.
And the education.
Oh, I thought you had that filled.
Well,
If there was anyone else that was interested that had, history or something, we'd probably entertain it, but, yep.
They have the minimum.
Be a part of your community,
Yeah.
here or there.
So thank you. I would entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Make a motion to go into executive session.
second.
We have a motion. It's been seconded by 2 people.
We were so excited to get a chance.
Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll take a recess.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Turn off your microphones.